Well, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm actually going to be working on the Jon Boat a little bit. Had some improvements that I found out I needed to make. Just there's little things that you find out when you're on the water. It's not really anything that you could plan for, but you just notice little stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to improve and add to. Also have a couple of things that I'm going to be wiring in. Actually, one of the most important things, but I'll save that for a little bit. So I've got to do some more waterproofing, more cutting, more measuring, more everything. So figured I'd let y'all tag along and see what improvements I'm making, and also kind of show you some of the additions that's going into the boat. I still got one more big one I'm working on. But as you can see, I do have a little bit of some subfloor down back here. Reason being is I do plan on moving the battery box back here. That way it's closer to, there's a thing that mounts here. Y'all can obviously, there was one on here before, but not telling you any of the big stuff I have planned. Anyways, I went ahead and put in some subflooring. I have some foam down under this, and I'm planning on possibly adding some more. Don't know yet, but just one of those things I'm gonna have to play by ear and find out. When I took the boat out, had plenty of weight in the front, but not enough in the back. So I decided to go ahead and add that bigger something that goes here. If you're wondering why the pieces of 2x4 and 2x6 are here, I don't want to drill into the boat more than I have to. Anyway, I've got to take some measurements and get this framed up for the next storage area slash deck. First things first is I'm going to go ahead and get this 2x4 down. That way I can run it straight across. Now, yeah, this might look crazy, but I know I'm not the only person that leaves notes to myself on where to make the cut. It just seems logical when you're working with a lot of pieces. So I'll leave myself notes. Might sound crazy, might think it's a good idea, who knows. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is get this cut, and then I'm probably going to do 3 boards all the way across, and then I will frame in the boards back here. That way I have framing that runs all the way across, strong enough to hold everything and everyone. Thinking I'm gonna do is running a piece of 2x4 underneath right here so they butt up, and that way I'm not gonna have to make any kind of crazy cuts. I'm okay with working around stuff like that, but I'm not a carpenter by any means. Okay, so here is what I've come up with, guys. This was a little angled here, so I had to go ahead and make that cut. That way it's angled the right way. If I'm looking at this correctly, I could put the 2x4 right here to the ground, and that would give plenty of support if you decided to walk back here, and it would also give an additional 3 feet for a casting deck, which actually works out pretty favorably for me. So I think what I'm going to do is cut the 4x4, and then I'm going to put another 2x4 across once I have all these guys taken care of. Okay, so 4x4s are cut. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and get the boards screwed down to the 4x4, and then I'm going to get these mounted to here, and then I'll go ahead and do the brace for it too. those are cut and ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the bracing cut and ready to go as well. That way I can get that in place. If you noticed, my impact died in the middle of all that. Such a random time for it to happen. Thought the batteries were charged, but it wasn't. Thank goodness I do have a second one with 2 more batteries. Framing is all done. I'm gonna flip it around and let y'all check this out. So here's what I ended up doing. Like I mentioned, 4x4s down here. Then I have the 2 2x4s right here coming across, bracing it. One against the 4x4 and on this 2x4, and then this 2x4 to this to here. So should create a fairly stable brace. I'm gonna say it's, might have overdid it a little bit, but I'd rather overdo it and not have enough. The next board is gonna need to be cut from right here all the way up, so that way there's not any give. And then the end of everything is gonna stop here. So that way I have room for that big something that goes there. Okay, so I've gotten all the decking waterproofed and ready to go. I've also gotten the rest of the supports and everything else in place, so that way I can go ahead and start getting the decking cut. And I had to add some additional support to the front casting deck. So in the front casting deck, I had to add this guy right here just because I didn't really think about it when I was doing everything before, but I saw that it had a bend, so I wanted to just put a piece there to help support it. And then I went ahead and added one more 2x4 right here. This is just what was left, and this is to support it right there in the middle. So the only other worry would be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get another piece cut. So I added an additional support here because I noticed that when I was standing on the deck that it had a bend in it. I've shown you this already, but it is finished and I have gotten the decking waterproofed. So once we're finished with that, I will probably go ahead and wrap up for today. So, wanted to check in with you and show you the final configuration on the Jon Boat. You did see me running it now. I changed everything. It seems like I'm a little indecisive with it, but after we had our run on the water and everything was going, the outboard quit. It just quit running. And after having to pretty much swim the boat back because the trolling motor wasn't working right, just wasn't a good scenario. It was storming, all kinds of stuff was going on. And I had my daughter with me, as you saw, so more of a parental protection mode kicked in, and I did what I had to do to take care of her. So anyway, so I sold the outboard, and I actually ended up going with something a little bit different that I'm going to show you this morning. Alright guys, so I am actually on the water now. As you can see, I do have a trolling motor on the back, but this one's a little different than most. This is a 110-pound thrust, and it's almost the equivalent of like a little 3 or 4 horse motor. So the reason I went this route is because with it being all electric, I don't have to have any added weight. I don't have to have any gas. I don't have to have anything. And full speed, once I get it dropped all the way, I'm gonna say I can get around 6-7 miles an hour, which for a little 12-foot boat like this, perfect. So, show you a little bit more later. I'm going to get to fishing, and I am going to get this motor dropped a little more. So you can see it doesn't have a ton of power. You're not going to go 15-20 miles an hour, but I'm able to move it probably 6, and the outboard I had on here got me at 14 and added a tremendous amount of weight. So as far as stability goes, this is definitely the route. Got enough power to move you across the lake, but also enough to move you at a slower speed too. You got to see the outboard, you got to see the first trolling motor, and now with this one, I think I'm finally finished. It has the perfect power to weight ratio. Everything just worked out perfect on it. It is a 110-pound thrust. I picked this guy up on Amazon. Honestly, it was probably the best priced one. So it's about the cost of a new, or well, I say a used outboard, but I don't have to rely on gas. I don't have to rely on anything. All I have to do is charge batteries. All I have to do is charge these guys. That's it. It's a 24-volt system. That's how it runs. Right now, it is hooked up on the trickle charger. That's all I have to do. No gas, no maintenance, nothing. So with it being like that, it makes it just honestly the perfect little one-man boat to get out, get on the water. And I honestly don't have to do a lot for it. I'd rather just have something that I could pick up and go. But anyways, that's all I've got for you this week, and I will catch you on next week's episode.